When I first visited Terry Allen at his home in Santa Fe in the spring of 2017, he was working on a piece of art in which to inter his friend Guy Clark's ashes, which, exactly 1 year earlier, had traveled 18 hours from Nashville to New Mexico on a tour bus, accompanied by a cortege of family and friends. Terry sat in his south-facing studio, which overlooks mountains through a fringe of cottonwoods, worrying a length of barbed wire with his gnarled fingers, bending it and straightening it, examining its rusted plates. He is one of those people whose hands are always busy, while explaining the theoretical procedure of shoving Guy Clark's ashes up a goat's ass. "He died and left me with a job to do. One last fuck you," Terry deadpanned in his resonant high desert drawl. The abiding joke between Clark and Allen, sparring partners and collaborators of 3 decades, who billed themselves on duo tours as Los Dos Rockin' Tacos and thrived on their competitive bouts of wit and volleys of works in progress, was that Allen would cast a bronze goat and install Clark's remains in its rear. After Guy's death on May 17, 2016, Terry, faced with the reality of his friend's request for his earthly form to be incorporated into a sculpture, reconsidered, settling instead on a treble-sized coal-black crow, eventually completed in 2018. He titled the funerary piece Caw Caw Blues. Its feathers pebbled with Clark's silver-gray cremains, which Allen poured into the molten bronze at the foundry. It resides in the Whitliff collections of Texas State University in San Marcos, while a smaller brother, sans cremains, perches on a fountain on the patio of Allen's home. In his final years battling lymphoma, Clark had become preoccupied with 2 crow's nests discovered in a windmill and displayed in the collection of the American Windmill Museum in Allen's notoriously wind-swept and tornado-prone hometown of Lubbock. Woven from scavenged scraps of barbed and baling wire, they seemed the perfect symbolic incarnations of, and poetically pertinacious responses to, the harsh flatlands habitats of West Texas. Clark struggled fitfully to write a song about this ripe metaphor and its Corvine architects, periodically reciting lines to Terry in person or on their regular phone calls. "It got to where every time I'd see him, he'd talk about those nests," Terry told me. "It was like an obsession." But he could never finish the song to his satisfaction or famously high standards, due to his declining health, but also, Allen suspected, due to the forbiddingly morbid subtext of legacy leaving that the nests represented. The fixation was also aesthetic. He loved that they built those nests so beautifully out of almost nothing, Allen remembered. Just like a song. Terry was talking about his friend and about mortality, but he was also describing his own protean artistic process. The sentiment and the sculpture itself, the final collaboration between friends beyond the veil, are apt metaphors for Allen's life's work, which generously joins music, visual art, and theater, and often enjoins friends and family to collaborate in the service of exploring the strange terrain of memory, of conjuring indelible stories, horrific and hilarious alike, out of the howling West Texas wind, by whatever means necessary.